not help themselves. Human beings cannot help themselves. All right, it's only like 0.00001% of human beings that have been able to do the work required to transcend their nature, right? But you cannot assume that most people have, right? You have to go with what is general. They can't help themselves instantly. I mean, even you can do the experiment. Look at the regular industry events in Lagos. When you go up and you're speaking to somebody, especially a woman, when the dynamic is intersexual. When a man, when a guy, even at a professional events, walks up to a girl to introduce himself, she can't control herself. She can't. That gaze from that scan from head to toe to assess your value, and then back to you to then give you what the assessment of that value is. She can't. I'm not going to blame. She can't help herself. She's going to calculate what she thinks you're worth and what kind of respect you are worth. It's very glaring. Men do it too, but it's understated. All right, men do the same thing, but it's understated. They do it, but they won't. Guys are very a bit more cunning with it. The way she guys a bit. You know how guys do when you want to look at somebody without knowing that you're looking at the person. Guys use some of those scopes. He's wearing shades and he has already look at what he needs to look at your khaki, but women just like they're mostly unaware of what they're doing. They're mostly unaware of what they're doing. If they were aware, then they would do it in different way. But they're mostly unaware. They don't know what they're doing and why they're doing it. But if you observe and you see it, they have to just stand like this. Like from your head, your hair, your face, your looks, what you look like, your suits, some cheap stuff or what, your watch, and it happens within a fraction of a second, and then down to your shoes, and then the estimation of what all that means determines how that conversation goes. That means even smaller stakes, right? So I'm just saying, human beings, we cannot help ourselves. We're just how we are, right? Or when you guys start talking, and the first thing she says, or they would say is, so what do you do? You would be very simple-minded if you didn't understand that that's a status marker. Just trying to understand where does this person stand in the dominance hierarchy of things, all right? And everybody does it, all right? Everybody, old money, usually use your surname to know if there's any benefits in chilling and being closer to you, and being in proximity with you. Also, to try to get a sense of who you could be. Yeah, like how does that, so what's your name? The name, surname, do this, or something, it rings a bell. It rings a bell, which one? Hey, which one? Is it the one that is a former chief justice? Is it right? So there are all these status markers. They just do it, right? So they're asking, so what do you do? You now say things like, I'm a makeup artist. Hey, Jesus, if I have Kane there and I know you're a nice school student, I will wipe you. I will wipe you. I will wipe you in anger. You embarrassed me. You just bought my hand. I will find cable. Any cable, wipe you. Right? Not that there's anything wrong with you doing what you can do legally to take care of yourself, okay? There's nothing wrong with being a makeup artist. But I'm telling you, for your sake, don't say that shit outside in such a gathering. Everybody is sniffing. They're sniffing status, right? And so the reason I said 5 years is that I know that if you're a makeup artist today, you cannot just transform yourself overnight. I get it. That's why I said in 5 years. I understand that it's a process. I understand that it takes time, but you got to start that process. Right? You got to start that process. These are the things that, listen, nice food is why I talk about everything and anything. I wish I could put it here. If I speak in your church and all that, I would behave myself, I'll calm down, I would speak according to the government approved curriculum. But yeah, I would say everything. You understand? Even in churches, it happens. So even in church, suppose they lose God. Even you're not supposed to lose God. I remember those of you that used to be on night school many years ago when I was still very radical. Now, I don't say some of the most crazy stuff I say back then. But I remember back then when I even told you guys how to network in church. Then people think that because it's the house of God. House of who? God does not live there. It's human beings that built it because they just need some physical. It's like where the Jews would create like the Ark of Covenant. Does God live like the Ark of Covenant? No. He does not live there. He already told you that God don't depict me anything. But I told you guys 2 episodes ago. God allows humans to do what they want to do. They're not killing themselves and doing some crazy stuff and sacrificing each other to demons. You allow them to just do what they want to do. They're not the house of God there. They don't live in any house of brick and stone, right? So don't think, the house of God, so I'm safe. I can just be my there, everybody just categorizing you, checking, asking. But the problem even with church people is that they can use Christianese to couch it now. So you won't even clock it when this is what's happening. You come here, you say, oh, yeah, you just lose that when church. So well, oh God. So and the person yes, but there's this one. I don't know where you stand. This whole thing, where you are, how much money you have, categorizing you. The point is that there's no way you can lose God. You must always be prepared. But again, I'm not trying to push you out into this thing to become a liar. Because that is one way. That is one thing that people of the world get very wrong. All right. I've always differentiated between I like using the word kingdom, but I don't have a better word for it. That's the only way I can communicate what's in my head that you will understand. But don't put me as church kingdom lingo. I don't like using borrowed words, but I'll use it for now. So kingdom people and Canaanite people. All right. If you don't understand the difference in people, the difference in men, the difference in women, you would generalize a lot and you would come to false conclusions. So the thing with Canaanites and Philistines, as I call them, is that they are very adept at cunning, at worldly wisdom, but they don't have virtue. But the problem with kingdom people is that they are very, generally, I guess, adept at virtue, which is good, but they are terrible at cunning. And you need both. Nobody talking. You're Jesus. That you claim that you are serving, Abi. It's not that said it, right? It says be as harmless as doves, good. But that will be incomplete without the second part. Tragically and devastatingly incomplete without the other part, which is as cunning as serpents. You need both of them, right? So, but the problem with the Philistines and the Canaanite women is that they are very good at worldly wisdom. They are very cunning, but they don't mix it with virtue. So it's like wisdom without virtue is like putting lipstick on a pig. It stinks. It harms. Their application of cunning harms people. It hurts people. It's not ecological, right? It needs virtue to be complete. The church person, however, they rank very high on virtue, which is very good. It is safe. It is very good, but it must also be mixed with cunning so that you're not a walking target, right? So when we talk about how you present yourself, unfortunately, and I told you guys last week that centers of commerce and opportunity, Lagos, for example, Lagos, Johannesburg, anywhere in the world that has capitals of opportunity, all right, not Abuja, it's Lagos, right? Such cities, because they have a lot of opportunity, they tend to attract opportunists. Okay, so you have to be prepared for the existence of such people. The majority of them would naturally be Canaanites and Philistines. They have the way they think. All cunning, no virtue, right? Now the problem is that when we talk about how to present yourself, these people don't want to do the work. So there's a lot of liars in that Lagos, all right? There's a lot of liars, all right? There's a lot of liars in Lagos, and they have a word for it. They don't call it being a deceitful person. They don't call it lying. They call it packaging. They say it's packaging. That's the word for being a bloody liar and saying what you're not, and lying and saying what you cannot do. They say it's packaging. All right. I don't like saying this in the presence of people who think like that, because they will just take some of this and add to their 419 ways and become even worse bastards. All right. So I'm saying this to you, who is going to be willing to actually do the work. All right. So when I say institutionalize your career, institutionalizing will take a process. And once you have gone through that process, then you can say what is actually true that you are. I am a this, I am a that. Okay? So, like I said, they can't help themselves, all right? But they will categorize you in one of 4 categories. It's unconscious, subconscious. They don't know they're doing it. 4 categories. Once you're introducing yourself, you're either a name to be forgotten, a person to be used, a power to be aligned with, or a force to be submitted to. And if you look at where a lot of you are today, and where your life journey has optimized you for, it has optimized you to be either easily forgettable or someone that people just want to use. It's not an easy thing to imagine. It's not an easy thing to think. But I trust that you can take it. And if the shoe fits, you got to take it under advisement and do the work. Because, listen, if you want to be average, I'm sorry, man, you were born into the wrong country to be average. Average people die of regular stuff. There is nothing for average people. Nigeria is not that country you all think it is. You were born in the third world, you were born in hell, and you want to be average? There are countries where you can live an average life. No, seriously. There are some people who don't have to be as aggressive about these things that we talk about, wealth and all that. Not everybody has to do it. Sometimes not even your natural temperament or personality type to be this aggressive entrepreneur who is willing to put themselves out there, sometimes even in harm's way. You're putting yourself out to the crowd. You're a public figure. Look, some people's nervous system can't handle it. And I don't say this as shade. I say this as someone who has a deep respect for the study of psychology. Not all nervous systems are created the same, right? There are some people's nervous systems that cannot handle the impact of capitalism. All right? Men and women, just that men just have to evolve and adapt somehow, because ain't nobody coming to save us, right? But women can at least marry and save themselves from that terror. Do you know how many? That is one of the best kept secrets. Do you know how many women are daily terrorized by modern capitalism? Do you know how many? There's every Nigerian woman that wants to be opening shop, and if you get a lot of Nigerian women here in a place of safety and all that, someone will tell you, see, I just want to be a wife and mom. I don't want to do all these things. I don't want to do all these things. I don't want to be CEO. I don't want to do this. I can't. I don't want it. You know? And it's not a bad thing. Because what happens is that there are some very progressive societies that recognize the existence of such people and create a space for them. Right? There are some countries like that where if your nervous system cannot withstand the impact of modern capitalism, there are other things you can do, and you get paid a respectable wage. Right? You get paid a respectable wage. You have healthcare. There are some countries like that. No, if people think I'm lying, ask people maybe in the comments, people that you know, Nigerians that have gone to countries that are optimized like that. People that, especially in Europe. All right, in Europe, you're not guaranteed of becoming bloody bastardly rich, but at least you will not be destitute. There's a place for everybody. It's a place where average people can live a respectable life. It's also Luxembourg as well. You know, it's a place. There are places where average people who just want to live average lives, they can live in peace and dignity. Nobody will come and oppress you. Never will come and cut your lights. You know, one billionaire that has plenty of money will not just come and throw party on your street because he can oppress you. No. There are countries like that. So there are some Nigerians that immigrate not because they want to go to the first and blue. It's because they just want to live a decent life. And Nigeria cannot give that personality type, right? Because in Nigeria you always have to be loud, right? You got to be fighting for your rights. Because everybody's just a fucking bastard. Everybody wants to just oppress. They're just badly behaved, badly trained. Those who that their parents trained them were not rich for that country. You know, so where you are the one who tries to be well behaved in a sea of badly behaved people, some people's nervous system were not made for that. Some of us, we have had to evolve and grow up and grow our own sharp teeth and claws as well. All right, you taught me with a broomstick, I'll carry a plank. That's the language people understand. We're not originally like that, but because we're born into that fucking country, we have to become like that for our own survival, right? That's just the way it is. But there are some people who just can't. They just can't. That is for them. Okay, so I'm not saying this to demean any particular craft. I'm not saying that to demean your craft. That, oh, you're nail tech. But you see, I understand, I get it. If you were that doing nail tech, say in America or in the UK or in some other place that respects labor, my goodness, your life would be sweet. How many? I don't want just over yarn for here. I don't want just over yarn because I know the realities of day-to-day Nigerians, right? Yeah, you can't sustain a life. Like maybe if you're in your early 20s, you can manage as a nail tech or a makeup artist, you can manage, right? But as you begin to get older and life starts to get real and responsibilities begin to form and higher aspirations begin to, you can't survive on that, my dear. You can't. You must institutionalize. You must build power. You must build for power. You must optimize your career for power, not money to eat. Either that or marry somebody that's optimizing for power. That's just the way. That's the game. The police will not protect you. Your government will not protect you. It's only money and power that will protect you. That's the way it works. So what are we saying? No, sometimes we just like to lie to ourselves, and I hate that shit. Like we see what happens, and we just like to lie to ourselves. Like, oh no, what the hell are you saying? You know. So that's even just for surviving. But even at a place where you should even be communicating with other people that are just supposed to be human. No, they're not human. There's something else entirely, and there's something different that they actually are that you don't know. Everything is a status marker. Everything's about status markers. That's what they're doing, right? So you know, there's some people, and you know, again, I said I won't talk about relationships today. I will not. But I'll just point out what I said last week, all right? Especially Nigerian girls. The Nigerian girls that come from poor families. So you don't understand the reality of the outside world. You guys have been watching some stupid Nollywood movies that make you believe that some prince somewhere is going to come and save you, right? But you don't know the mentality of those people in real life. Nollywood can't afford to show you how people are really thinking. Otherwise, the movie is not going to sell. They have to sell you fantasies. Which country was it? It was not China that banned all movies that depict rich man marrying poor girl. Check what I'm saying. Just go and Google it. I ain't lying. China banned all movies. Well, not a ban, but like the regulation to stop making movies that depict poor girl able to marry to a rich family. And it's not because it's a bad thing. It's because they say this is a lie. You're making these kids delusional. It does not happen. It will not happen for you. The Lulu was so much that government had to step in. Like, that's enough. You guys are taking freedom of speech too far. Cancel this movie. Cancel all of you. If you make another movie like this, you go to jail. Because you're lying to these kids. You know, it was China, right? It was China. You know, so because you're watching all those things, you think, oh yeah, so you're not even mindful of how you are presenting yourself in those environments, because you don't know that every conversation in those settings is an audition. You don't know. You're just being there, plain regular. You're just there. Everything's an audition. And I'm sorry, I don't think life wants to be an audition. But regardless of what I think, life is simply gonna life. It's gonna be what it is. That's just what it is. You know, so you go to a place, and listen, I got nothing wrong with. I see nothing wrong with you going to events to hunt. Guys go to events to hunt for women. It happens. They do. You think they are exchanging cards with you because you just have very bright ideas? Wow, interesting. Wow, you collaborate and you think what have you really built that is worth collaborating with? Yeah, woman. Okay, think up now. Don't be naive, Nico. Yeah. So people, no, everybody's auditioning, you know, and sometimes too, women also go to these places to look for perspective, you know, yeah, for perspective. Husbands, they do it. They won't tell you they do it. They say, oh, yeah, I like the speaker. The speaker, oh, yeah, and I know what you came for, and it's okay. It's all right. But you've also got to understand that even when you are carrying that out as a part of your strategy, you've got to understand the politics of that environment. Life is 100% political. So as a woman, if you're going there for such reasons, nothing wrong in it. It's not a bad thing. It's perhaps even one of the few places that you can find like-minded people. The only problem, Sha, is that you're not likely to find people that are virtuous. You are likely to find opportunists that are looking for opportunity. That's what people that come for events. That's what it's a different audience from church. Church is a very different audience. Church people you're likely to find, likely, it's not that all of them are, I don't know, depends on church. Anyway, but church kind of events, you're likely to find someone that is accountable and virtuous, right? Industry events, you're likely to find someone that is opportunistic within capitalism. You say virtuous person, we don't fucking know. That's just what it is. So let me just put those categories apart. But when you are hunting in the opportunist arena, they are scanning what you're saying. They're scanning what you're saying. They'll throw questions like, where do you live? You know, what do you do? And if anything you're going to say is less than institutional or powerful, because remember, you came to an event to seek opportunity. You think you're the only one? Everybody else came seeking opportunity. You know, everyone came seeking the same thing. So they're hearing you out. Now, woman, you see one guy that you like somewhere, and you're trying to capture him, right? And somehow you're able to conjure it, and you guys are having a conversation. And then he says, okay, so what do you do? And you think he's asking you what you do for a living? Yeah, that's what the question looks like. But trying to see whether there's value here. And then there are multi-step questions, in that, like, one bullet point and then sub-bullet point. There are multi-step. Again, most people are not self-aware enough to know that's all happening in their subconscious mind, but it is happening. So from your answers to those questions, people are gauging what other power stands behind her. That's what they're gauging. What other power stands behind her? What is the size? Because if you are someone that is pretty formidable, it is less likely that people want to mess with you, right? If you're someone who is really doing well in life, who's probably institutionalized, who has money to buy justice, yeah, it's less likely somebody would want to be duplicitous with you. Like I said, it's so easy to understand human beings once you can use these two heuristics: incentive and consequence, risk to reward. That is how they think. Again, humans cannot help themselves. That's just it. So when you come to this person that I like this guy, and then next thing, what you do? Now this guy, there's a reason you like this guy, all right? And the reason you like this guy is that he is probably doing well in life. He is, I don't know if he's wealthy. Maybe he's wealthy, doing well in life. He's sophisticated. Women like such people, right? Sophisticated. That's not a bad thing, right? But I'm just trying to get you to think properly. He's sophisticated. He's doing well in life. Probably comes from a good family. Good looking, okay? What do you think the psychology of that person is? The psychology of that person is that they too are looking for someone that they can vibe on that frequency. That person too wants to be helped, all right? However, depending on where you're having this conversation, all right, the mind will go in one or two places. If you're having this conversation maybe in church, church is a more tame environment, all right? Maybe you just analyze and see that, okay, you're not his type. Maybe you say, what do you do? I'm in nail tech. Never. He cannot tell you that because everybody has to be diplomatic and nice when they're selling you for 30 shekels of silver. But you have to smile while doing it and make everybody feel good, right? We can't spoil a lovely gathering with too much truth now, can we? So everybody's like, I'm in nail tech. Hey, see, once you have positioned yourself in someone's mind like that, good luck trying to reverse it. Just go after that phrase somewhere else. Some labels are very hard to rebrand in some people's minds. It's just the way it is. I know I'm a nail tech. Oh, you think he wants to save you from your nail tech? Nah, he was probably trying to be saved himself, right? So if you met someone in a very tame environment, say maybe in a church, they might say, oh, nail tech, like, from what you do, it really says where you are in life. Like, his assessment may not be correct 100%, but people who are that, there's a number of other assumptions you can make about them to a certain degree of accuracy, and I'd rather not find out. That's the thinking. I'm not in my thinking, but I'm saying that's the thinking, right? Oh, you go come and you dress so beautiful and all that. There's an makeup artist. Now, there are some guys who have no problem with that, but generally, women like to shoot above. Women like to go for 3-pointers, like way above, where they're at. So they typically don't go for the guys who are okay with that. They go for the guys who have much more, weight in that way. But people who have that much weight, they don't look at you the way you think they look at you. All right. Now, some women will try to shortcut it by using sex appeal, and yes, especially if you met that guy in an industry event, not church. If you met him in church, he might still resist, not because he's a good man, but because church is a system where people are connected to different people and accountable to different people. Nobody wants bad gist going around in church. People who mess around and sleep around in their church, they are rookies. They don't understand the game. They're small children. They don't go find life. They don't, because they are so stupid that the one place that should be a sanctuary and all, there's bad gist going about you. Like, when your whole world is crumbling, church should be a place where at least, while I'm in this place, in this time, I should have some peace. I should have people that treat me as a brother. They don't know me from anywhere. It should be a place of peace. Some people, they don't really have sense. That is where they want to be looking for. But so I'm just saying, where, depending on the setting, if it's in church, most people that have sense in church would not go for the low-hanging fruits because you feel cast. So they will just, she's not my type, I move on. If you met the person, however, in a place of lesser accountability, low accountability, like an industry events, where we are only there because of opportunity, we are opportunistic. We are there for our love for our Lord and Savior, capitalism, right? But that's the only reason we're there, and there's less accountability. As a matter of fact, you are more likely to find the most perverse people there. All right, I didn't see a single poor person on the Epstein list. That's another topic. All right, so such people there, they will not hesitate the low-hanging fruit. So you are presenting yourself as an option to this guy, but once you let himself and you fail the test, he will not discard you like the church guy. He will still entertain you. And because you are not that educated on worldly thinking, you think, oh, he's giving me attention, because you still think that all attention is equal. You still think all attention is the same. You're not discerning. You think that, oh, he's entertaining you because you're a low-hanging fruit. The one that he actually wants is somewhere else. The other one is something else he's looking for, because he may have seen you in that higher way if you had passed that status test. 99% of the time, this is the way people think. They will never admit it. It's up to you to clock it. Right? If you don't ask where you what you do for a living, they see this thing, you say, oh, university. You ask where you went to school, and you are there. Say, this one's on grammar school. You don't know what you're asking. You think it's a familiarization. You say, oh, this one grammar school, this one government college. That's not. You don't know why you're asking where you went to school. You want to know your income level, or the income level of who that gave birth to you, and whether there are people of consequence, and whether anybody offends you, there will be any repercussions for that. That's why they're asking those questions. They all start with markers. Again, I said it before. I'll keep on saying it again for you to understand. Human beings cannot help themselves. We all have to act according to the program. There are just a tiny small percentage of human beings that have been able to transcend their humanness, the limitations of their humanness. And really, most of what Jesus Christ was preaching was that. I shared that with you all last week. Most of Jesus Christ's preaching and message was about transcending that spirit of Esau, right? But he largely did not succeed at that. He just died and created a religion, and human beings are still the way they are. Yeah, it didn't work. It's not going to work. Humans cannot be saved. That's just what it is. Just learn how human beings think and you'll be fine. So that's that, right? So now I've hammered that enough, all right? And I've said this about girls. Now, say that as a guy, as a man, you just go, so what do you do? You now say something that your introduction falls flat. Say, oh, I'm a graphic designer, or I'm a web designer, or and I'm not, again, please try to understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying it to go and lie. That's what a Canaanite man would do. All these fraudsters in Lagos and Abuja, that's what they do. So, I know the governor. We have a lot of projects. One of the biggest misused words in Abuja is projects. The thing is about women, yeah, you got the male equivalents, especially in Abuja. Yeah, guys that wants to use just words. When they say a woman that is doing well in life, going somewhere, and not to pin her down. They know what she wants to see. They will just add, they'll go and borrow a friend's car, they'll rent an Airbnb and claim it's your house, rent an Airbnb, they'll not put their personal portrait there to look like somebody listed. Meanwhile, the guy is sporting with his cousin somewhere, or even sleeping in his car. like Philistine men and women are crazy dangerous, bro. Anyway, again, I'm not asking to be like these people that just say what they're not and lie. I'm right. I'm saying that you need to do the work so that when you are saying that, it actually holds true. And this is what stands the test of time. Understood? Okay. My auntie said we're in Abuja witnessing this. See, I know that country, Nigeria, like the back of my hand. You cannot lie to me about Nigeria. You can't. You don't feel like giving me about that country. I was born here. Forget that I speak funny here and there, my sweet English. I know Nigeria is where I was born and brought out. I blew in Nigeria before I blew abroad. So you cannot ban me for that country. Right. So that said, okay, what do you need to do? Now listen, I'll say this again. There is nothing wrong with being good at your craft. It's just that you were born in the wrong country to be an artisan. Right? If you watch American social media, right, and because the algorithms have mixed up, and you can be in Nigeria now, and you can be seeing what's happening in America, what's happening in the UK, I know. If you watch American social media, Victoria Oluwadari, long time no see, so good to see you, so good to see you, welcome. Right? If you watch American social media, you hear them saying things like, when they are talking about school being a scam, or when they're saying that college, that is university, is not worth it, it has a different meaning to them than it does to you. And I'll tell you why. When they say university is not worth it, I would rather you learn a trade. You need to understand that the American system is very different, right? Ask your friends or your relatives that moved to America. Ask them what it means when we say that it's a DIY society, right? Ask anybody who has traveled abroad and is staying there now, those people that you are still in contact with. Ask them why a Nigerian man that moves abroad, you can't call an electrician to fix something in your house. You must find a way to fix it yourself. Either you go on YouTube or you read a book, you go fix that thing yourself. Or you have a plumbing issue, you go fix it yourself. Or your light bulb or something, what else? Or you want to put furniture together. Every average American man is a handyman. You know how to knock wood, they have tools, they have appliances. Nigerians don't do it because labor is cheap in Nigeria. All right? I'll explain. Nigeria does not do well like that. Any something just goes wrong, you call somebody because it's not expensive. Nigeria is expensive. Mechanic Nigeria is expensive. It's very cheap. Labor is very cheap. But abroad, labor is very expensive. Air conditioning, exactly. Abroad, labor is very expensive. Okay? That is why most people try to do things by themselves. Because anything will make you call electrician, that guy is going to charge you a lot of money. Right? That is going to charge you a lot of money. So you can actually be richer than a Nigerian banker while being an electrician in America. So when they say university or college is not worth it, they say go to a trade school, learn a trade. When they say learn a trade, it's not the same thing as what we mean. The English word there, it's not the same thing as what we mean in Nigeria by trade. In Nigeria, trade means that buying and selling thing. In America, when they say learn a trade or go to trade school, what they mean is trading your expertise, not goods, but services. Trading your expertise and your skill for money. That's what they mean by trade schools. And there are schools there you go do trade school and all, and you can make good money, very good money. All right, as an electrician, as a carpenter, as a landscaper, as a general handyman, as a plumber. Oh my goodness, go and check how much plumbers make in America. Because that's their society. Now, if you as a Nigerian don't understand the difference in economies, and again, just like the Hunger Games, the United States of America and similar countries are like the capital that was depicted in the movie. Nigeria is like District 12. The third world, they're all those districts. All right, these rules don't apply evenly everywhere. Okay, so in those countries, right? Yes, it's Victorine, you're very correct. Even to install a newly bought chair that you got on Amazon or even IKEA, right? If you're going to get people to help you just install it, you will pay. We don't appreciate our assistance enough in Nigeria, right? So yeah, so that's it. So again, just to buttress the idea of the fact that there's nothing wrong with having a trade, you are just in the wrong economy to thrive in that trade. Go and ask how much nail techs make in America, especially in America anyway, right? How much nail techs make? They make very good money. How much do beauticians make? Like the beauty industry there is booming. So it's not the same thing here, all right? And if you must be powerful here, or if you must secure your income here, you've got to institutionalize, all right? So what does that look like? Well, it all comes down to first principles. I'll hate to repeat myself and go back. Like President said, even barbers. I remember when I was living in Dubai. Oh boy, I can't tell you how much a haircut cost when I was living in Dubai. Let me not mention. When I come to Nigeria, I'm so generous with my barbers because there's nothing compared to what? Hey, there's a time in Dubai. Right, and again, whenever I'm abroad, I don't go to anywhere else except where the elite get their hair done. I don't care. That is where I am. That's where I get it done. I don't care about the price tag, right? But this haircut one made me care about the price tag, bro. After everything was done, I think the naira equivalent of what I was paying was about 100,000 naira. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. After all the hair, and these guys are so slick. Like they'll be giving you upsells. They'll be like, would you like to get this one done? Would you like us to do your manicure while you're handling your hair? Just the hands or the feet too? Okay, they're so polite. Did you get all these ladies from Southeast Asia? Okay, sir, do my manicure, today only 20% off. And you feel like big man. Okay. But now that they're done with all the treatment, like what has manicure got to do? I'm looking for a haircut. Why they go? Oh, let's do this while you're waiting. Would you like also pedicure? This oil just came the other day from Vietnam. It is new. It's a pineapple flavor. By the time they are done with you, you're spending 100k naira. You're like, you don't know when that's left you, right? So it's the same thing. These things pay more there. When my Baba Japad, when he went to Japad to Saudi Arabia, I said, hey, he paid me because it's very good. But I was happy for him because I know how much those economies pay for those things. If you're very good, they pay so well for those things. Because hey, we all like to look good, hey, right? So if you're going to institutionalize, it goes back to understanding basic economics, all right? Right? It goes back to understanding basic economics, right? And basic economics, again, people say it's just about money in school. They just didn't call it money, right? So economics talk about the 4 factors of production. And if you heard me talk about the 4 factors of production before, please pardon me. Let me do it again for those who have never heard me speak on these things. What is the time? How much time do I have now? I was very good with time today because we're all technical. 2. Okay, I think I'm still good for time. Right, so it goes back to economics, and the 4 factors of production. Now, first things first, you've got to understand that I think what was it last week or last 2 weeks that I told you guys that there is no such thing as just the Nigerian economy. I think it was when I was telling, calm down. When I was trying to explain that why you need to be US literate. I remember you were on that episode where I said you must be US literate. And when I was explaining that, the whole system is one global economy, of which Nigeria is just one part. Ghana is one part, like the